We're back, and today we're possibly talking about one of the biggest anime news to impact the industry. And of course, it has to do with Demon Slayer. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Well, the news are coming out that Demon Slayer has surpassed 600 million in the box office worldwide, which is absolutely insane. I believe it's the first Japan movie to ever do this. Is definitely in the running to be one of the highest grossing movies in 2025, period. We're not talking about anime here, we're talking about movies, period. It just beat out Superman. I mean, we can look at the news here real quick. 600 million worldwide. Definitely gonna be insane run in 2025. It has already surpassed Superman. And just to put the numbers into perspective, here are the highest grossing movies in 2025. We got stuff like Jurassic World, How to Train Your Dragon, F1, Superman, which just surpassed by Demon Slayer. So yes, it's absolutely insane what Demon Slayer is doing. And the kicker here is that it hasn't released in China. So all these numbers that we're seeing right now are not even including China. And I don't know how big Demon Slayer is in China, but it will be safe to assume that they could probably pull another 50 to 100 million, and that is gonna put Demon Slayer at anywhere between 7 to 750. Can the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle reach $1 billion? Maybe, who knows? I think it's a little too far. I definitely do think it's gonna peak maybe like around 850, 900 max. But I would love to, for an anime movie to actually hit the $1 billion revenue mark, because that would be insane. But why is this good? Why is this a good thing? Because it definitely is going to raise some flags for all the other companies that are looking at this and saying, wait a minute, we got something here, right? Because I believe this Demon Slayer movie only cost about $20 million to make. Now, those numbers, I'm not sure if it's 100% official, but regardless, if it's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million budget to make this movie, to get 600 plus million in return is absolutely insane. And I can definitely see companies like Netflix, Amazon, and other Hollywood company movie studios looking at this and saying, you know, maybe we should start looking into this whole anime or cartoons or animated shows instead of just going the live action route. Because at least here in the US, we definitely do have a thing where everything gets adopted into a live action. I mean, I like to bring up, for example, stuff like a Wheel of Time, Game of Thrones. There's plenty of fictional TV shows that you can look at and say this would have been better if it was animated. Again, the Wheel of Time, I'm not sure if it would have made sense to be animated, but I feel like it would not have gotten canceled after 3 seasons. I really wish we wouldn't seen through the whole end. But regardless, when you animate a TV show, you definitely don't need to have that big of a budget, because you're not paying actors millions and millions and millions of dollars. You don't have to spend millions and millions of dollars in CGI and special effects. Everything falls down to like the animators and stuff like that. So they could definitely go into here and start making those adaptations into anime rather than live action. I mean, for example, Netflix right now, they're doing a whole Demon Slayer live action. And I don't know how many times these companies have to try this and see it flop before they get a clue, right? We've seen it with Cowboy Bebop, we saw it with the Death Note live action, Yu Yu Hakusho live action, and we're gonna see it with the Demon Slayer live action, right? In fact, I honestly do think when it comes to anime being adapted into live action, One Piece is truly the only one that's like really a top tier TV show. But I could be a little biased because I love One Piece so much, right? But regardless, I definitely do feel like Demon Slayer doing this is putting Demon Slayer into a pedestal of its own, because at least here in the US, when you really come and look at the history of anime here, stuff like Dragon Ball pops out, stuff like Naruto pops out, and you cannot have that conversation of the impact that Demon Slayer is having in the industry, at least here in the US. Because again, Demon Slayer here in the US, Infinity Castle, it broke like a 20-year record for anime movies. It dethroned Pokemon as the highest grossing anime movie here in the US. And again, it's just gonna keep going, right? What's gonna happen with the next movie releases? And I do hope that this is kind of like a trend that's gonna keep going, right? We got the Chainsaw Man movie coming up here in October. You best believe I'm gonna go watch that. But I definitely do feel like this is a medium that needs to be touched, and it's just great for the industry. And if people disagree with this, they're just lying to themselves. They're just trying to gatekeep anime for some weird reason. I don't understand why, because at the end of the day, if your goal is to watch anime and enjoy it, and your reasoning why you want to gatekeep something is because the people don't agree with what you like about anime, like if it has too much fan service or something like that. Like if that's what you're actually worried about, you need to get off the internet, right? Because if something like that bothers you to the point that you're trying to gatekeep anime, you're weird, you have issues, right? Just ignore it. They're not gonna, having that discussion online ain't gonna affect anything. But yeah, Demon Slayer doing these numbers is gonna be absolutely insane. I cannot wait to see what's gonna happen with anime. I hope Netflix, Amazon, they're seeing these numbers and they start investing heavily into the anime industry, because right now, Crunchyroll, they have a monopoly on the thing, right? And I can definitely see some people not happy with the service, but a lot of people like to, just beat down on Crunchyroll when really they're the only ones that are investing in anime so much. Like if you haven't been watching anime since like the early 2000s, you don't know the pain that it was to watch anime back then. Like if Crunchyroll just goes away today, you know what the anime industry is gonna look like? It's gonna go back to like the early 2000s where we just had a group of people fan subbing anime. You can say goodbye to literally having over 40, 50, 60 anime every season. You have to say goodbye to that because nobody is adopting those anime and subbing those anime like Crunchyroll is, okay? Now, hopefully this is a wake-up call for companies like Netflix, Amazon, other streaming sites, Disney, Hulu, all of them, because there's big numbers. You can definitely earn a lot of money with anime. You just have to invest in it. So hopefully it creates a little bit more competition and we're gonna see what happens, right? But the future of anime is looking amazing. And again, hopefully this leads to other companies picking this up. And more important than that, it kind of gives, producers a little bit more to work with, right? Instead of automatically trying to do a live action of like a book or anything like that, they can now start looking into making it into an anime, right? And it could definitely be very, very popular. But let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about Demon Slayer absolutely breaking every record in existence. And like always, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode. Peace out. Bye.